Hey guys, welcome back to your women's gear review channel, and today we are reviewing the Troubadour Apex Everyday Tote. In this review we will of course have got you covered. We're going to go through the summary, we'll go through the features, we'll pack it out so you can get into it, we'll do a wee fit check, comfortability test, airline test, water test, and then run through some pros and cons. And of course, as always, if there is anything that we've missed you would like to know, then just pop us a wee comment below, be sure to get back to you. Okay, let's get cracking on with the summary. So this is priced at £199. It is made with 40 wee fabric spun from recycled bottles for lightweight waterproof carry. You've got 50 by 47 by 5 centimeters, a litre of 16.5 and a starting weight of 1.02 kg. Over on their website they do offer some nice neutral colours. This is the scree, you can get it in the basalt and black. In terms of the shape and style, I definitely think it is really stylish. If you don't want a brighter colour, then opt for like the darker colour. The only reason I would opt for a more of a darker colour for day-to-day life is because of this colour, it does pick up like dog hair quite easily, and it's quite noticeable in comparison to maybe like the darker colour. In terms of like the shape and everything, it does sit up by itself. You can kind of compress the bottom in if you don't want it to open it up as much. It's got a really nice pattern throughout, and the style themselves, you can kind of switch between a lighter colour or even a darker colour, and it can fit well even in like a business setting. Definitely something that can go and be dressed up, or you can also dress it down. It's just something to be aware of in terms of like the colours. Troubadour do offer a 5-year guarantee. They offer international shipping, but some custom fees may apply, and they do also offer 100-day returns. If you are interested in all things gear related, then I highly recommend signing up to Size Matters, my email community. All you got to do is click the link below and sign up today. Okay, let's get cracking on with the features. So for the branding, you just have some here on the front of the bag. As for like the rest of the bag, you've got a little bit here embedded at the bottom. That's pretty much it through the external there. What I will mention with this kind of material on the front, you've got like a different kind of style in comparison to the one at the top here. So a little bit more easy to clean here on this material, a little bit more water weather resistant here. Whereas this is more like a clothy feel to it. So the dog's hair actually does kind of stick to this a bit more. So that's just something to note if you do have animals and things like that, that it does take a minute to kind of get that off. But if you bring like a lint roller with you, I know that's a bit inconvenient, but that would help kind of take that off. So going into the first pocket here, you've got a little flap. You can kind of try and keep this hidden if you want, but you'll see sometimes naturally it'll just fall down. On the kind of hardware as well, it is embedded with some branding, which just gives it a nice little touch and overall kind of like a premium feel to it. The flap really helps just keep, as mentioned, like an anti-theft feel to it, but also for weather resistance as well. So opening this, in here, a little bit of organization. So on the top here is where you can place in your air tag. So quite discreet there. And then in here you could place like accessories. You've got a pen holder. It's kind of hard to show you, but that's the kind of setup. Again, a little bit more branding in there, and then some space as well. So we will be packing out so you'll be able to see a bit better as to what you can kind of get in there. In terms of like your phone, this is an iPhone. I'm actually not even sure. It's very old, so I don't know if they get thinner or thicker as they go, but that fits in there nicely. So if you wanted to place your phone in there and a wee pen beside it, that's something to note. And that's the front little compartment, so when you have this on your body you can quickly access that if you want. Nice pattern throughout. I can just definitely see my dog's hair just attaching to this quite easily. You've got your top little handles here. They're kind of like rough, but like the way that they kind of position over your shoulder, which we'll be able to see in the fit check, kind of helps to just keep them in place, but there is no like pattern or anything to that. It's just kind of what it is there. Then on the back here you'll find like a little magnetic close, so you can use this as a wee discreet pocket for yourself, but just being aware that it only has the magnetic close just for anti-theft purposes and what you are placing in there. But I suppose if you have this closest to your body, it's just whenever you're setting this down and it's not in sight. Or you can, as you can see, a little zip here. You can open this zip, being careful that you remember that, and then use this as a luggage kind of pass through. So setting it over your bigger bags, we will be doing an airline test so you'll be able to see how that fits. That's kind of it for the external look of it. Going into the main compartment here, the zip isn't coded. That is something just to be aware of. Pull this, can kind of like open it up a little bit better when you start flattening out that bottom. If you kind of want to compress it a little more, then it folds in on itself. Flattening that open, then you can see the nice kind of organization in there. I absolutely adore the inside of here. It just feels really premium. Something to note is that if you want to add on, you know, like an external strap that you can place over your shoulder or across your body, then you have to add that on yourself. I prefer just the little tote as well. Only when I like that kind of extra strap is when it gets too heavy, but normally with totes and things I don't actually pack it up too much. So on both sides here you're going to see little pillars, which I absolutely love. It's attention to detail that I love, when you can pull this open and slide in your water bottle. And when that's not in position, it's not just bulking out, you've got that magnetic close to kind of keep that sleek in, so you can actually use the space if you didn't want to place any items in those two little compartments here, which is suited for like an umbrella or your water bottle or whatever you can fit in there. I'm going to show you a size. This is the 750ml water bottle that fits in there like so, close to the top. The 1 litre here also fits in nicely. I will leave the links to these water bottles below. They're from Sparrow. You can set them in there, or as mentioned, you can kind of close that off and use the space as you please. You don't actually have to use those pockets, or you could fit like smaller items in there and not have it as bulky, so you could place like little bits and bobs, lipstick or whatever, and secure it in a bit more with that magnetic close. 2 pockets here, just thinner pockets, for a little bit of organization, so you're not reaching to the bottom of the bag, you know, okay, I left my phone, purse, keys in here. Then you have that. It's just the material throughout, and it ends like there. Then on this side you have a zipped little pouch, a little bit of branding on it, a little bit of organization. That's handy enough to place in your laptop charger, phone charger, a little bit of organization. Then you have like a smaller tech compartment, plenty of padding on that. And then you'll have your bigger kind of laptop compartment here with like a little hooded sleeve. In here it has like a little bit of a softer lining, and it does have a false bottom to it, so it's quite nice to know putting your laptop in there or any electronics that you are grand. I'm going to give you a measurement of that. Might be a bit awkward to show you, so just trust that I am doing so. So we've got that little smaller compartment that runs up to about 7.5 inches. You could obviously go a bit taller, but you're eating into the laptop compartment. Then across, 10's your absolute max, but that's slightly over, so I would say just a bit before, maybe like 9.5. If you want to implement, if you don't want to implement that sleeve, should I start with, is about your cutoff's probably 10.5. If you don't want to put it through this little hood, then you'd have to scoop it under. Still obviously 10.5, but if you're trying to like max it out. Across 15-inch MacBook Pro here. This is a 2017. Let's try and fit that in that main compartment. As you can see, then you can kind of hood over and protect it a bit more. This is probably your best bet in terms of the biggest laptop that you could go for. Taking this out for the moment, I've got like a little magnetic close here. So a lot to kind of work with. Nice bright interior as well. A little bit of organization, and then you can kind of pack up the space how you want. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to place in the 15-inch. That fits in nicely, that book. Let me give you a wee measurement just in case that's helpful. Just slightly over 9.5 inches. About 6, slightly over 6, maybe 6.5 near. No, just slightly over 6. Okay. In that smaller compartment, 750ml umbrella. Down the side here, I'm gonna go phone, some entertainment, DS, going in that pocket. Here, probably wanna pack that up first. I am going to go phone charger in here, laptop charger, just sitting down at the bottom there. And you know me, I love to take like an extra hoodie bottom. Like so. You obviously have that little bit of organization. I'm going to pull up my purse in there. And then my keys, I'm just going to drop at the top. So it does get a little bit tight. And then that's that. About 3 kg. Okay, time for a wee fit check, comfortability, and see how this feels and looks on the female body. So this is what the tote is like on me. For reference, I am 5'6". Obviously, this kind of material is rough, So usually if I'm holding a tote, it might be something like this, or holding it down. That's nicer. Sometimes when it's on the shoulder, if you're not wearing a hoodie, then you can feel the kind of roughness of those straps, but otherwise they do stay on really nicely. If you want added comfort, then definitely add on the shoulder strap. I think it's like £19 extra. That'll be something that you'll be able to decide a bit better. Otherwise, it's fine on the shoulder. It's just rough. It's not like a soft padding, so take what you will from that. Sorry, this is where I interrupt and just say, if you do happen to have a wee gander on the website of the products we are reviewing, then we would be so grateful if you could use our links below. This is no extra cost to you, and it just helps us as a team and growing our channel. What's that? Oh, you would like me to introduce you to the team so you can see who you're helping out? No bother. Let's go. First up, we have our editor, Orla, our outreach manager, Orla. Oh, there is our script writer. She's shy. She's called Orla. Then we have this sexy lady for thumbnails. The main star of our reviews is the reviewer herself, Orla. And last but not least, the woman who does it all. Her name is kind of like Lorla, but it's Orla. So don't forget to click that first link to purchase your item. So for a wee airline test, we've got the replica of EasyJet behind me. This is a great starting point. It works for Spirit Airlines, American Airlines and Delta Airlines, I believe as well. So it just gives you a nice base. So does it fit as a personal item? Lovely. In terms of water weather resistance, this is absolutely grand for a light drizzle. I wouldn't be getting caught in a complete and utter downpour. Whilst the water does bounce off this nicely, it's just that the top zip isn't coated. And we can leave a little bit of a gap when you're trying to close it here at the top. Whilst it does run, the zip does run right to the top, it's just there is a gap. Okay, time for some pros and cons. Pro number one is the style. I feel like it is really stylish, really well put together, especially within the inside kind of compartments, that you've got those pop-up compartments, but you can also kind of tuck them away when you don't need them. I really enjoy the shape. It's something that's, as mentioned at the start, that you can dress up and dress down. It is really simplistic and to the point, and the fact that it is made from sustainable materials is a bonus. Some cons to think about is the hair kind of magnet that it is on the front there. Also that the top zip isn't coated, and I would have loved for the price range for that strap to be added as well, not that you have to add it on. I would have loved a key lash in the front here in that front compartment, and also possibly for the kind of pocket here at the back for that to be zipped rather than a magnetic close, so both sides being zipped. I understand the kind of design for it to easily kind of maneuver into a luggage pass-through, but just for security I would have preferred that to be closed. Do let me know below your pros and cons, what works for you, what doesn't, what you like, what you don't like. I really truly love to know below. So that is the end of our review. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, then why not consider joining the channel and hitting that subscribe button. If you do have a wee gander over on their website and you're thinking about purchasing this bag or any of the other products, then we'd be forever grateful if you could use our links below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.